Am I a man?
Hi there, I'm Bret McKenzie and I create music.
If I'm a Muppet, then I'm a very manly Muppet. Very manly Muppet. Am I a Muppet? Or am I a man?
I think Man or Muppet was nominated because out of all the songs in the Muppet film, I think it's the most successful musical number, and the way the song and the picture work together is, I'm really proud of it. I think it's really awesome. James did such a great video that, yeah, I think of all the songs in the film, I think it's the best one. So it's if they were going to choose one, which they did, I'm glad it's that one.
I reflect on my reflection.
I got involved in the film because James Bobin directed and co-created the Concourse TV show. James hadn't really found an opening song that he liked, and so he called up and asked if I'd write a demo, and that ended up being the one that they used. Yeah, and then obviously it was very easy for us to work together because we had a sort of shorthand. He's not a musical person in terms of he's not a musician, but he loves music, and so he's good to work with in that sense.
I look into these eyes.
I was very intimidated by the legacy of the Muppets, and I mean Paul Williams and Kenny Asher in particular. I guess their work is so great and so inspirational. In fact, a friend of mine said to me, "You're not going to write another Rainbow Connection," and I was like, "Yeah, well, you're right about that." So I just had to put my head down and see what I came up with, because yeah, I wasn't going to do that, and I didn't. We just used the old one. We just put Rainbow Connection in the movie.
Twice,
yeah. The songs for the film, had to be less, obviously had to be less rude than Concord stuff might be. I was tempted to have lines like Mother Frogger, which got cut early on. I mean, I wrote them and then they get cut. And I had a line with a Muppet reminiscing about how I remember when I was just a little piece of felt. But they got cut because Muppets have always existed in the Muppets world. As I worked on this film, I did learn something about my songwriting process, and that I was working with a world that existed, and it's someone else's world. All these characters, Jim Henson, Frank Oz, all their characters, and it's a world that someone else has created. But in order for the songs to work, I had to put myself into them. I kind of learned that the more of yourself you put into the songs, the better they seem to work.
If I'm a Muppet, well, I'm a very manly Muppet.
My dad did a bit of musical theatre and was an actor and a singer, and my mum's a ballet teacher, so she did dance, and I did musical theatre. I was actually in Bugsy Malone, which Paul Williams wrote music for. I was Bugsy Malone at a school production, and I did all that stuff at school, and then when I left school I wanted to do more understated material, and that's kind of where Concords came from, is like really underplayed. I was really anti the over-the-top musical performance and the bigness of it all, and my whole thing was like to make it as small as possible and as real as possible. So that's where I kind of come from, but in a weird way I've ended up rebelling against it, and then now it's become my career.
I'm a man.
My eldest daughter has seen the film, but my son, he's not one yet, so he couldn't really watch it. He can't really watch anything, but she watched it, and yeah, she loved it. She'd actually seen a lot of the demos, and I tested a lot of the material on her. She liked Life's a Happy Song until she heard Rainbow Connection, and then she was like, no, Kermit song. So I got bumped by Rainbow Connection, I was pretty impressed with her taste.
That's what I am.